What's going on? This is Kareem from DJBooth.net, and I'm here in the lab to give you guys a really quick review of the new Numark Mixtrack Platinum. So what this is the latest controller from Numark DJ division, and this is the latest controller in their bottom of the line or their entry level range called the Mixtrack series. This is their latest one from the Mixtrack series. It's called the Mixtrack Platinum, and it brings a lot of new cool features and functions to the unit that wasn't there on the previous generations, but it brings the controller up to speed with some of the better controllers that are usually offered at a higher price point, and they bring all those features right down here to the Mixtrack Platinum. It's got really cool features such as the ability to use your gain controls and your filter controls separately. You can use all of your effects separately as well, and you can use them all together simultaneously. And they have these really cool new jog wheels with the LED display to show you all of your track information right there on the screens. So we'll give you a really quick rundown review, and then we'll head on over to the cons and pros to show you guys what we think in the end of this video for the review summary. So first we're going to get into the first impressions and the setup. The first impressions of the controller is that it is all plastic, but it is built with nice quality in mind, meaning it has a really low and shallow profile to it, and it feels like it doesn't creak or pop or anything like that, and it really feels like a nice compact controller that's perfect for the beginner DJs or any DJ who wants a compact controller who may be a professional but still wants something really compact and nice and easy to take with them when they're going on the go. It's not as thin and small this way and lengthwise as the older Mixtrack controllers, but that's because it gives you a little bit more real estate to play with, a little bit better than a nice small and beginner entry-level controller. It's like a notch up from that. Also for the setup, it's very easy. All you have to do is plug in your headphones in the bottom. It also has a mic jack on the front. You'll be able to plug your microphone directly into that port, and it also has RCA outputs for your master out, and then it has your computer jack so you can plug this straight into your PC. Once you plug this in, you head on over to the Serato DJ website where you can download Serato DJ Intro for free, and if you upgrade to the Serato Pro features, then you can also download that from the website as well. And if you're already a Pro user, all you got to do is plug it in and it will automatically work with Pro or DJ Intro if you have the latest and greatest software. So head on over to Serato DJ to make sure you download the latest, so that way your Mixtrack Platinum works fine with it. So let's head on over to the rest of the controller and see what everything we have here on board is all about.
Alright, so here it is, the Numark Mixtrack Platinum, and as you can see, the layout is similar to other Serato DJ Intro controllers that are in the same $300 price range. Here, the big major difference is the jog wheels have this excellent LED display which shows you all kind of information about the track that is currently playing. First up at the bottom, we have your dual headphone jacks, and then we have your microphone input with a mic gain knob all the way over here to the right. Next up, we have your crossfader here on the bottom. The crossfader is nice and loose. It's not the most accurate crossfader, and it's not perfect for all your scratching, but it does do an accurate job of scratching in a basic format, and you'll be able to pull off your juggles, scratches, and fades nice and smoothly with the supplied fader here. Just don't expect to do any crazy turntablist tricks on this controller as a whole. Next up, you have your two pitch sliders, and these have more resistance to them. You also have your master meters in the middle, so that way you can see at a glance exactly where your meters are and exactly how loud you're pumping the whole unit. Next up, you have your Q gain knob and your Q mix, so you can hear what's going on in the Q section in your headphones. This is the area where you can determine whether you're hearing what's in your headphones or what is out in the public, and that's your volume control knob for that here. You also have your master volume control knob in the middle, and you have your full kill 3-band EQs, your lows, your mids, your high, and again, those are 100% full kill. You have your browse knob in the middle. It's nice and big and oversized, so that way you can go and select your track. When you're ready to load, all you do is click the 1 for this deck over here on this side and the 2 for the deck over there on the right. You do have 4 decks of control here right out of the box with Serato DJ Intro. In order to turn this deck into deck 1 or deck 3, you select the 3, and once that's lit up, that means you're in the other deck. And it also tells you here on the LED jog wheel as well. Hit it back, now you're back on deck 1. Same goes for the right side. You have deck 2 and deck 4, which are layered. You also have separate gain knobs and controls and filter knobs for each of the sides of the controller. Each of these filter knobs, of course, control the certain deck that you have highlighted here, and it will work for either side. You have your low and your high pass filter built in. It's a really cool touch at this price point. Next up, you have your decks. They're the same on each side, but they're more like mirrored. You have your controls for your transport right here in the middle, and you have your pitch sliders all the way to the outsides, which I really like because they're really easy to access when you're playing in a dark gig, and you can't really confuse them over here with any other type of line faders that may be in the way. All the way at the bottom, you have your pads. You have your play, pause, cue, and sync. These are nice metal buttons. They feel really solid, really cool to use, and they really feel responsive as well. On the bottom, you have your 4 cue points. You'll always have your 4 cue points present here. And then you have your different pad modes, which is manual loop, auto loop, and sampler. In order to get to these different pad modes, you simply hold down the pad mode button and highlight the different one that you want to use. You have your sampler, your auto loop, and your manual loop. And when you have the auto loop on, you have different size selected for your auto loop here, and that will be your lowest to your highest. And then you'll be able to grow or half your loop using the last button here. When you're in manual loop, you have your in, your out, your on and off. And then you also have your sampler mode where you have your 4 banks of sampler right here in Serato DJ. Next up, you have your long throw pitch sliders. I really like the long throw pitch sliders because you can really get a nice accurate mix, and it's very accurate, and it has a nice stiff feel to it, so you can really line up your mix just as you need. Usually at this price point and this size of footprint, most of the controllers have a very small pitch slider, even the more expensive controllers, so really cool to see Numark throw some long pitch sliders here in the mix. Next up, we have the Jog Wheels themselves. These are really nice Jog Wheels. They're fairly accurate. They're just as accurate as the other Mixtrack lower line of intro controllers from back in the day, and the other Mixtrack controllers that they have out there have very good response, and these are no different. They made them a little bit thicker this time. The outside ring can be used to slow down or nudge your track, while the inside, when you press it down, it just feels you there, and you'll be able to scratch. And as you can see, the needle indicator, which is the red LEDs, will light up as you scratch or move the track around. And that way you can pull off your different juggles and things of that nature. I was able to do some good quarter bar juggles with this just by using the indicator. The needle is very accurate, and it works really well. You can also see which deck number you're in. You also have the white LED ring, which shows you how long your track has remaining. And then you have your BPM nice and big right in the middle of the LED indicator. And below that, you have your track remaining time or the track length that you already have been playing. Very cool to have this LED indicators right here on the jog wheel, especially at this price point. And it definitely allows you to pay more attention to your audience instead of the controller. Next up, you have the effects controls all the way at the top, so that's probably why they put the filter up here as well, so you can kind of use the filter in conjunction with the effects that you see over here. Instead of having knobs for each of your FX controls, you have this cool touch bar slider, so that way you can turn up and down your different effect parameters really easily using the touch slider. You press FX1, FX2, or FX3 individually, so that way it gives you some individual control over your effects. Back in the day, the older mixed tracks, you can only control whatever you had in the first FX slot, and the other two were pretty useless. But now you have all three, and you can use all three of them together combined. You also have a beats knob here, so that way you can change the beats of the effect, and you also have a tap button in case your BPM is not quite right. All the way up here in the top left and top right, you also have pitch bend buttons to make you dial in that pitch just the way you need it for those tracks that have maybe a wandering BPM.
So in conclusion, the new Numark Mixtrack Platinum is a definite upgrade to any of the previously released Mixtrack devices from the past. This is a really good controller. It's good enough to play out for gigs. It has all the features that you would need to really deliver a really pretty good set right there on the road or wherever you're at for your gig, your party, or your gathering. It's a really cool controller because it has a really great feature set at this price point, meaning you have 4 decks of control here. You also also have your separate gain and filter control knobs, your 3-band EQ. You have all of your FX controls, and you even have some additional pad controls down here at the bottom, like some of the more expensive controllers that are out there in the Pioneer and other DJ controller ranges. You also have that jog wheel info LED display to show your BPM, your needle position, which is really cool for those who like to juggle and like to do other little turntablist tricks. Of course, this isn't a turntablist machine, but it's really good enough for you guys to do your juggles and see at a glance exactly where your needle position is. It also shows you how far along you are on the track, and the speed of the track is playing as well. So really cool info display right in the middle of the jog wheel, and it's something that you usually don't see at this type of price point. Also, you have these very long pitch sliders. This is really good for the DJs who like to manually beat match, such as myself, and maybe some of you other DJs out there. You have a nice long pitch slider here, and it has great resistance to it. It really feels like a quality pitch slider on this lower price controller. So kudos to Numark for giving us a real nice pitch slider, because usually at this price point and at this small compact footprint, you're going to get small little pitch sliders, so it's harder for you to dial in that accurate, perfect pitch blending mix. On the downside, this controller does not have a lot of inputs and outputs. Obviously, it's the one master RCA output, and it is the single microphone input as well. So it would have been nice to see maybe a dual set of RCA auxiliary outputs or inputs, so that way you can have another backup unit just in case anything happens to your software. Maybe you can plug your phone into it, so you can really use this when you're gigging on the go and on the road. So this is a great controller, excellent for beginners, excellent for those who want a nice compact controller maybe to go with them when they don't have their huge setup with them at all times. And it was a great fun controller to use, and it will do more than you think it can at this price point. So for more on the full written review and the summary, you guys can head on over to www.djbooth.net/DJS, or you guys can click on the link at the top of this video description. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you like this video. Also subscribe, because we have a lot more videos coming for you. I can't say it enough. We'll have a lot even in this month still to come. So make sure you guys subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you like the video. And as always, thanks for watching.